Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Hey guys, we're your hosts, Em and Jay, and we wanted to give our quick thoughts on the new He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse comic book series. The first issue is out and it sets up the premise of the series, where an evil He-Man from an alternate universe is traveling to other universes, killing their respective He-Mans and stealing the power from their Castle Grayskulls. This concept has a lot of potential. It's been explored in other venues, like Crisis on Infinite Earths, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Forever, and of course into the Spiderverse. But we do think the execution of this comic could have been handled better, especially when it comes to the pacing issues. But overall, it's not a bad start to the series. I've definitely seen worse. It starts with Skeletor threatening Prince Adam in Castle Grayskull, and I'm assuming these characters are from the original Filmation cartoon. Anyway, Skeletor is holding the capital city of Eternos hostage unless He-Man gives him the magic from Castle Grayskull. But when Adam comes out to face Skeletor, he's already dead. This is where we're introduced to He-Man in a big reveal, but instead of getting an epic battle between good versus evil, he kills the good He-Man and drains the magic from Castle Grayskull off panel. So that felt really rushed. And since I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be Filmation He-Man, I'm disappointed they killed him off so early. We then see the dimension where anti-He-Man came from. In this dimension, Keldor never became Skeletor, so he's mostly a good guy, maybe a little mischievous. We spend a few pages with him, and I think it goes on longer than it needs to, especially compared to the He-Man versus anti-He-Man that we wanted to see a few pages ago. We get the picture. He's living in his brother's shadow, that's something that frustrates him. After that, we get exposition about this world. Not only is there an anti-He-Man, there's also an anti-Teela, and instead of Grayskull, it's Hellskull. Apparently things haven't been great for this Eternia. It looks like the characters who are usually heroes have been corrupted by a dark force. With the exception of King Randor, the characters who are usually evil are the only ones who are left. It looks like Adora was never kidnapped in this dimension, and instead corrupted like her brother. We don't get to see her though, and I'm not sure if she's gonna be a part of this or not, but it would be cool. Auntie Teela ends up saying some pretty cryptic things to Keldor. Apparently she was able to see other dimensions in Castle Hellskull, and in every one of those dimensions, Keldor was the ultimate evil lord of destruction, and that everyone who looked upon his face knew the face of death, mostly because, you know, he doesn't actually have a face. It melted. Then later that night, Lynn wants to go to bed with him, but he's not in the mood. I feel like the tone of this comic is inconsistent. I also didn't really want to read that, so thanks. But she does tell him that he shouldn't worry about what Auntie Teela said. Looking into the abyss probably drove her crazy anyway. This is when the other versions of He-Man start showing up, and the first one we're introduced to is Mobile App He-Man. Personally, I don't know if it was the best idea to introduce him first, considering the fact that he's supposed to be the toony comic relief He-Man, and pretty much only speaks in references to his game. But this feeds into that tonal problem we were talking about. We just came off of Keldor refusing sex with Lynn and having an existential crisis, and now Mobile App He-Man is wearing an Easter Bunny costume. Maybe they thought it would be a moment of levity, but it's a bit too jarring to be successful. Plus this art style might remind people of Teen Titans Go, so it might give off the wrong first impression. But Mobile App He-Man isn't alone. There's also Dolph Lundgren from the 1987 live-action movie, which I wasn't expecting, but that's a fun surprise. And he's been using the Cosmic Key to get between universes. He's basically here to give an exposition dump to Keldor. He catches Keldor up on everything that's happened so far, and he also plays a recording of Gwildor, who tells him the plan going forward. He explains that in every other universe, He-Man is a force for good, while Skeletor is the evil one, and He-Man always triumphs over Skeletor. Maybe the reverse is true, and Keldor is the one to defeat Anti-He-Man. But Keldor protests since Anti-He-Man already did a number on his universe, and he doubts his own skills. But he decides to join them when he sees Gwildor get killed by Anti-He-Man in the recording. Well, it's nice that someone cared about Gwildor in the end. They walk through a portal created by the Cosmic Key, and they end up on a spaceship, which is something they're surprised by since they were expecting a castle. But it turns out this is Starship Eternia. This is actually from a mini-comic, and there was also a playset, so it's really cool that it looks like they did their research for this series. And it is cool to see these more obscure versions of He-Man and Eternia in a comic. Overall, I like the concept of this comic. There's over 30 years of material to pull from, and it's really nice to see these nods. I do think that the pacing and execution is a little funny though, as well as the main lineup of He-Men that are on this journey. It kind of feels like if Into the Spiderverse had been a good version of Norman Osborn, Spider-Ham, and then Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, none of which are bad, but there's there's also other Spider-Man I'd like to see. I think we need Filmation He-Man. He's likely the most recognizable He-Man out there, so not having him is weird. But I am looking forward to see what else this comic might have. Are we gonna get to see the 2002 He-Man? Or the pre-Filmation He-Man? That'd be really fun. But those are our thoughts. What do you guys think? I think the comic will be good as long as they focus on fun, and not so much on Keldor's love life. If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like and subscribe to this channel to see more content like this. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone. Bye guys.